Good morning, folks. Today we are getting in the beehive. Now for me, one of the most important things is prep work. Because once I get in the suit, I just don't really want to go anywhere besides next to the hive. The suit is thick and muggy and it's hard to move around in and it's really hot. Plus my hive is all the way in the back corner of the property. All of my beekeeping equipment is up here at the house. So I'm just gonna take everything over in a big wheelbarrow and we're gonna see what's up with that split we got. So I am not certain that the small split is ready to be moved into a full hive box. I have not checked it since it was given to me by my friend, but I do want to be prepared just in case they're overstaying their welcome in that little split box, that nuke box, and be prepared to move them into a larger hive box if need be. Ooh, smoky. You know, I really suck at lighting the smokers, and it actually lit pretty well, and I should have waited to do that until I was closer to being ready to go out there. I also don't have any leather gloves to wear because Freya chewed them all up. And I don't want to get stung, so I think I'm just gonna double layer some nylon gloves I have. I have one leather glove. I'm gonna double layer the nylon gloves. There's this one. No, and a right hand. Let's see. Oh, it's only a left hand. Apparently Freya only eats right-handed gloves. All right, neighbors with welding gloves for the win. So I went to the gym super early this morning so that I could get out here. One of the best times to do any sort of work with your hives is gonna be midday, late morning, when most of the bees are out foraging. Unfortunately, it's getting really hot here late morning, so I wanted to get out here around 9:30, 10, which I am, before it gets too sweltering and I start sweating buckets in this suit. So I like to zip my suit into my boots because the bees will actually land lower and crawl up, and you do not want a bee in a sealed suit. It's not fun. Yep, so we're all set. New boot goofing. I'm just gonna put this on now because those gloves are pretty thick. I won't have a whole lot of dexterity with them. This is a pretty nice suit I bought, and it's really breathable, which I got because it is so hot here. I don't remember who makes it, but if I can find it, I will link it down below. Wow, that's a heavy frame. Look at all that honey. So it's all done. The hive has been moved back to where it was. All of the bees were out here in the front and they have all moved back inside. So I didn't see a queen, but I'm really bad at it. And I'm fairly confident that if there is a queen, which there's gotta be, they've been in there for 2 weeks and there's a ton of bees, that she is inside. So. Whew. I think that was a fairly successful transfer. I am hot. Now the reason I do not give instruction or anything while I was doing that is because, first off, I barely know what I'm doing. I am not a professional beekeeper. This is my 2nd year and my hive absconded last year, so I mean I didn't even have very much experience last year. And if anything speaks to my lack of skill, it would be the fact that I can never find a queen to save my life. But it looks like everything is good and the bees are happy in their new home. They had a lot of honey. I think my friend gave me quite a bit of honey. There's no way they made that all. So that was really nice of him. Some of them are so heavy. They're not capped yet, but they're so heavy. And I will need to make some more honey super frames because he only had 5 in that split box and I don't have any here to put in there. But that's not immediate, and I will let them get used to that hive box for about a week before I go back in there. They were pretty frazzled that I moved them, but they weren't as spicy as my friend said they were. When he brought the hive over last time, he had just tons and tons of stings in his gloves, and I wasn't too bad. I didn't see any stings on my gloves. They weren't too upset with me, so hopefully they're a nice friendly hive. So that's done, but let me get changed and we will resume our usual content of where the YouTube algorithm really wants me, which is gardening. All right guys, I have changed and had breakfast because I hadn't eaten after the gym and I was starving. But I am going to direct sow some sunflowers in the garden because I need to plant things, obviously. So I have the gold coin sunflower. It's a shorter one. It only gets like 2 feet tall, a little over 2 feet. And it's so cute. It's like fuzzy, which is awesome. I have this new Mardi Gras blend, which I just got this year. Never planted it before, but it looks beautiful, doesn't it? And then the Terra Humera white-seeded sunflower. This is a super cool sunflower. It grows really tall, about 8 to 10 feet. But it reseeded itself last year in my front yard landscaping, which is crap, just total crap soil. Not even soil, it's dirt, it's sand, it's fill dirt. So the Terra Humera white-seeded sunflower, on the back of the packet it even says, this variety is also tolerant of poor conditions. That it is, I can attest to that fact. So I like sunflowers in the corners or the edges of the bed so they can provide some shading and just be a pretty backdrop. And I think I want to do it here at the back of the garden on the west wall. So bees are fairly easy to keep and require very little maintenance, though there are several styles of beekeeping out there, so I'm sure someone will come after me for that. And I am not particularly fond of things buzzing around my head or getting stung, but I am very fond of growing as much of my own food as possible. And since I can't grow sugarcane here in the Southwest, the next, or even possibly better thing, would be honey. And of course there's the added benefit of bees pollinating the garden, which is extremely beneficial for any organic grower to have pollinators in your garden. Now when I first thought of getting bees last year, I did a ton of research because that's the kind of person that I am. I looked at every YouTube video I could find. I bought a ton of books, just did boatloads of research. And then I even joined my local beekeeping club that covers 2 towns that I live near. And I enrolled in their brand new beekeeping course. It was several weeks long. It had tons and tons of teaching material and hands-on experience, and it was extremely, extremely valuable to me. Now, was the beekeeping course absolutely necessary? No, it wasn't. It was, you know, it was a little pricey, but it made me feel better about learning how to raise these things, which I had avoided viciously my entire life. Do I think that every person who wants to keep bees needs a beekeeping course? Absolutely not. I don't think it's necessary at all with all of the online research and videos that are available nowadays. But what I can say is that it is extremely beneficial to get that hands-on experience, you know, actually handling bees, handling frames, and getting that stuff. Hello, birdie. Getting that knowledge before you're actually faced with a hive and you're like, all these things are floating around my head, what do I do? So I do think that part of it was extremely valuable. Plus you make connections, you meet people, you develop community with other people that you can call if you need help or get supplies if you're out of something. So there is benefit in that. I'm not much of a bird watcher, but I always like to know what birds are around here. And then after that course, I got my first hive, and then I got my second. And basically the point of me telling you all of this, going through this story, is that I did a ton of research and I tried to learn as much as possible, but then I just did it. I'm still learning. I still don't find the queen. And I still have to look back at books before I get into the hive to make sure I have all of my I's dotted and my T's crossed and I know what I'm looking for when I go in there. But I'm doing it and I'm learning as I'm doing it. I'm gonna turn this water on. And you can read books forever and you can watch all the videos online that you'd like, but until you actually get your hands in it and do something, you're not really experiencing any of it. Until you're canning your first set of jars or, you know, feeding baby chicks that you just ordered so that they don't die, you're not really learning anything until you're experiencing it. And mistakes be damned. You just gotta do it. If you want to homestead, if you want to be more self-sufficient, you have to put down that book about herbalism and just go forage for herbs or dry them or tincture something. If you want to garden, you have to plant that first seed or transplant that first potted plant. You just have to start. And don't worry about what anyone else says. I know that I am very, very terrible at beekeeping, but I will learn and I will get better. I'm not going to try and teach you guys what I'm doing on here because that would be silly. And I'm not a beekeeper. I know a lot about gardening, and that's what a lot of y'all are here for. And if I have any beekeepers who are watching, I hope that you see some of the frames that I was looking at and you tell me where the queen was, because I couldn't find her. Goodness, I can never find those ladies. But just get out there and do it. Don't worry about the mistakes. That's the whole process. That's the point. Oh no, I didn't switch over the hoses. Ugh. That hose is on. I'm not watering that. I do this every time. Good thing I didn't walk away from the water. Sheesh. Let's try this again. I've been having some trouble with this drip system. Not terrible trouble, but I'm having to bring the hose out here to water things that aren't getting watered more often than not, which I'm not happy about. My tomatoes! They have blooms! Oh, hooray! Should I pick them off? Goodness, I hate this every time. I don't know if they're established enough. My mind is telling me to cut them off and wait until the tomato plants get bigger, but my heart is telling me leave them. So many more of my potatoes have come up, y'all, and it is glorious. I have so many potatoes coming up. Look at how big these guys are. These are the Corolla variety of potatoes. I'm actually getting less germination from the dark red Norlands, except for this row right here, which is a little weird. But I have almost nothing back here. I'm not sure why. Sometimes you never know. I want to encourage you guys to just get out there and do it. Put down the book, turn off the YouTube video, turn off my YouTube video, and just go get some bees. Go plant a garden. Go preserve something, you know? That's the only way you're gonna learn. I will catch you on the next one.